So, hello everybody. The webinar is going to start letting you in. Um, Thank you for joining us this morning, this afternoon, this evening,
I would
whatever
wait because
time zone is for you. My name is Victoria. I am the marketing executive for this title for Entrepreneurial Finance. And we are joined today by Yob and Luisa to talk about the second edition of this great textbook. Just a little bit of some housekeeping before we start. The chat is open for all of you, so please put questions in there throughout the entire webinar. We can, stop as we go along to answer some questions, but we will leave enough time at the end to sort of get through as many questions as we can. Also, just an FYI, the webinar is being recorded, so that will be shared with everybody that's attending or registered and wasn't able to make it, or if you have to drop off at some point, the webinar will be shared with you afterwards. But other than that, we will get started. I will introduce the editors of this title, and then they will take it away. So to start, Luisa Alemany is the Associate Professor of Management Practice at London Business School and Academic Director of its Institute of Entrepreneurship and Private Capital. She was formerly at Assad Business School and a visiting professor at Said Business School, University of Oxford. She is a fellow at St. Hugh's College, Oxford, and sits on the investment committee of Oxfam's Enterprise Development Program, Fund ICO Next Tech, the Advisory Committee of FMO Ventures One, the Board of Barcelona-based Aldea Ventures, and the Board of Newton Venture Program. She holds an MBA from Stanford University and a PhD in Economics and Business from Universidad Complutense. Jaap Andreoli is the Associate Professor of Finance at Nijrode Business University in the Netherlands and leads the Nijrode Incubator in Amsterdam. He is on the advisory board of a venture capital firm and the research team of an online valuator and on the editorial board of Venture Capital. Prior to joining Nijrode, Dr. Andreoli worked as a strategy consultant for Ernst & Young and Capgemini and was responsible for setting up the strategy and innovation practice of Atos Consulting in the Benelux. Sorry. Jaap holds a PhD in finance from Nijrode Business University, an MSc in strategic management from Rotterdam School of Management, Erasmus University, and an MSc in education from VU University in Amsterdam. So after that, I will hand it over to the two of you. And let me know when you're ready to go to the next slide, and I
Yes,
will.
thank you so much, Victoria. Can you maybe share the slides in the screen? Welcome, everyone. We cannot see you, but I see there is a lot of people there. So hopefully we will be able to at least get your questions after we do a little presentation. So we are now presenting the second edition, and this is a work that we have been very excited about because actually we are in a field that is evolving so much. And we are going to share with you the contents of the book, but also we are going to focus on the new things because some of you have been already using the book and some of you are new to the book.
slide number 2, Victoria, then we can say something about the book, the origin of the book, why we started it, and actually what continues to be like in our second edition. So Luisa and I met like in 2016 already at Harvard, and we noticed that actually we both noticed that there was a book lacking for the European context. So what we see is like all the books had outdated content. All the books had a very traditional kind of content push-ish approach instead of kind of creating a buzz in the classroom and having students really apply the theories. And we saw that all the books out there, as in really all the books out there, all had like this focus on USA examples, on even USA legislation, which is very odd if you're teaching that in your class and you're teaching like US examples and US legislation. Well, in fact, you hope that your students are becoming enthusiastic about the course and then actually become entrepreneurial investors themselves. And you don't want to send them away, right? You want to keep them here. So there's lots of opportunities in Europe and in the Middle East, what we saw, and a lot of great examples, and we wanted to share that. So that was actually a big driver for both of us to start this book. moving on to slide number 3, Victoria. I can't see it, but I trust you. You put it in the screen. So what we do in our new book is actually it's 21 chapters now, it's 830 pages. We deal with the full spectrum of entrepreneurial finance from a European and a Middle Eastern perspective. We have many contributors, actually 34 contributors now. So, and that's what Luisa already mentioned. The field has evolved so rapidly, and there have been quite a number of new sources, new processes, new insights gathered, and we can't oversee it all. And so that's why we are very happy to have all these people join us in the book. So the 34 experts are really selected, and we're super blessed with having them. Those experts are both practitioners and professors, so they're blends. It's like really an art and science as well. We have case studies from throughout the region. So all the chapters have and the chapter cases, they have chapter cases in the chapter, and we have an abundance of exercises within the chapter and at the end of the chapter. Moreover, we have a so-called what we call voice of the experts. So we have some inserts from people that have actually dealt with a certain funding source of certain funding process steps, and they kind of give a personal advice and personal insights, and they share that in our book, which we are very happy with as well. And we open every chapter with an article, typically from either the Financial Times or Sifted, as a very practical, hands-on experience or example of the topic that we'll be discussing in that chapter. Victoria, slide number 4, please. As I mentioned already, like the book evolved. So look, it was 18 chapters in the first book. It now grew to 21 chapters. So we took out 3 chapters and we added 6 chapters. We now cover both Europe and the Middle East instead of merely Europe. We have Sifted and we have Sifted and Financial Times that open every chapter. We have 36 subject matter experts, and yes, the book grew quite a bit thicker, as in from 610 pages to 830 pages. But this is as I mentioned before, and this is like really the full coverage of the field of entrepreneurial finance.
Maybe I'm gonna take it from there. If we can move to the next slide. Well, I'm gonna talk now for the people that don't know the book. The book has now 5 parts. And the first part is on the sources of funding. So we cover from angel funding, crowdsourcing, accelerators, all the way now to corporate venture capital. Then in part 2, we talk about the funding process. And the funding process is from selection, due diligence, valuation, term sheet, corporate governance, so everything that you need. Then how to grow the venture and the exit, so the last part of the funding process. Part 4, we talk about alternatives route to entrepreneurship. So there we talk about entrepreneurship through acquisition and management buyouts and buy-ins and so on. And then we have add 2 new topics, which are in part 5, which we call specific topics, and they refer to the sustainable finance ESG in venture capital, and then deep tech investing, which is something very new that we are seeing currently happening every day in our lives. So we are gonna move to the next slide, if that's possible. Talk a little bit about who can use or where is this book being used. It can be used along the programs from the undergrads to the Master of Science or the young master degrees, MBA or executive education. So it has been used the first edition has been used in all different programs and in many different courses. Of course, the natural course is Entrepreneurial Finance, and that probably you can use most of the book for an Entrepreneurial Finance. But some faculty are using it also for their entrepreneurship classes as they talk about funding, the session on funding. Then they will pick 2 or 3 of the chapters, maybe for their students. Corporate finance, of course, and any sessions that relate to private capital, as we have both the part in the funding sources of venture capital, corporate venture capital, but also we have MBOs, so management buyouts, search funds, so very much things related. And of course, valuation, which is something that you always study in corporate finance, so they focus on valuing new ventures. And the same apply for private equity and venture classes. Venture capital classes will probably take some of the process related to new startups, and then of course private equity. Sometimes they might use other book because we don't go super deep in private equity, although we do have this entrepreneurship through acquisition and management buyouts. With that, I'm gonna move now quickly because we wanna have time for Q&A, and we just have 10 minutes left, as I can see with our technical challenges, to some of the changes. But very briefly, for those of you that know the book, the chapters that are marked in red are new. The ones that are in green means that the green is a full revised version, and all others have been revised. So all the chapter has new media, new cases, and new data. When there are numbers, normally the numbers are now up to 24, maybe something 25. So new chapters. In chapter 2, we have now a part fully devoted to venture builders. And before there was crowdfunding there, now we have a full chapter on crowdfunding because it has become really big in the ecosystem. We have also a spin out corporate venture capital that was before together with venture capital and private equity, and we have a full chapter on that. And a new chapter on venture debt that was not even touched in the previous edition. So that's regarding the funding sources. On the funding process, we have a very detailed chapter on due diligence. So like a checkbox. So the students or the investors can use that chapter. Goes together with deal sourcing and screening, but this one goes into the DD part. And then the term sheet part and negotiating with an investor has been really turned around, and because there has been also changes in the law, so we have a lot of new things there. So I recommend you, for the ones that knew it, to look at this chapter again. And then in the last three parts, we have revamp again the chapter on corporate governance and dealing with the board to keep it updated. We have add in IP in the chapter 15 that was already there related to IP protection and patents, a full part on artificial intelligence and how this is impacting the sector. And then the special topics I already mentioned that are new: sustainable finance, ESG, and sustainability. And finally, the deep tech investing. And still we have the part related to, impact investing, and we have an appendix full of material as well, but I think I'm gonna not go into more detail. If we go to the next one, which say changes in the book, I already mentioned, so you can read that later. We can also pass the changes in the book second part that compares the yellow to the blue one. Regarding the editors, already Victoria has introduced us. So if we move to the next one, where we have the contributors, some of you are in the call, so thank you to all of you. We are super happy to have people from all around, and I am gonna pass it to you, Joe.
Yeah, so good. So you see here, the 32 pictures of contributors that have joined us in the book. We're very happy with them and their insights to provide it to the book and actually provide it to all the students. So it makes the book very tangible. It's like really used material. It brings the academic insights together with the hands-on insights from practitioners. So these people come from very different institutions, as you'll see in the next slide, Victoria, please. You'll see that we have many institutions, and actually I feel that all the contributors that have joined us are really like the thought leaders in their field. So both from like a search fund or Impact Europe, early birds. Michael, I saw you in the call as well. Great. And of course, many academic institutions, from ESADA to London Business School, IMD, Hertie School of Governance, King's College. We're very happy to have all of them. Then the next slide, please, Victoria. we actually have a question to you. It's like, so we've been working on the book, and we're super happy that the book came out. The question to you is like, so we'd like to kind of devote some time to really provide you with the materials that will help you in your classes to be successful, and to kind of convey the message of what's actually what's in the book. So we'd like to hear from you in a survey that will be passed out after the call, on like, how could we best support you in delivering classes on these topics. So we could provide all the visuals, or like answers to the end of chapter questions, answers to case questions. Typically, those answers to questions were always kind of only provided to the educators themselves. So it's not something that is shared on the internet. But we could help you kind of provide those details if you fancy. And of course, we can maybe do something on course structures, maybe presentation suggestions, maybe academic articles, or even practice material. We'd like to hear from you. We'd really like
Maybe
to hear.
if I can jump, and I think we have to stop talking because we have 5 minutes. Just to say that what we want is create, we already have created an entrepreneurial finance community around the first edition. We would like to continue doing that, but this time we would really want to have like, what cases are you using, and like everybody share the materials and we can share it through the community. So that's our goal with this second edition. So thank you so much. I think we can move to the next slide. And thank you so much. And we open up for any questions that you have. And of course, we will share the slides. And if you haven't done it yet, please ask for your instructor copy that will be delivered. And the book is really, really nice. It's here. Very beautiful. Thank you, Victoria. And now we go to the questions. And I don't know how we're going to do it, I guess, through the chat.
Yeah, Victoria, maybe you can.
Yep, we'll do it through the chat. I do not see any questions yet. So if anybody has any questions, please put those into the
if you have any questions.
chat, and I can read those off for you.
They cannot talk, right? We cannot hear them if they ask a question.
Nope. So just use the chat. If you have a question, just type it in there.
Okay. When we will receive the book, there is a question already.
Yep.
So do you know when we receive the book, Victoria or Valerie or somebody from the team, like people that have already asked for the copy, are they receiving the book soon?
Thank you, Letitia.
Yes. If you ever asked for an exam copy, you should be receiving that soon. If you have not yet asked for an exam copy, there will be a link shared after this. Yep.
Maybe Victoria can go to the next slide. Then you'll see in the next slide we've got the QR codes to get your exam copy right away.
Yep, and I'll also be sharing the exam copy request link in the email after this. So if anybody wants to request that, then you feel free to. Obviously, you can also purchase the book. It is now available for purchase, so you can do that.
By the way, something that we will really, really, really ask you, if somebody that you know yourself buy the book in Amazon, please start writing some reviews. We don't have any reviews yet. I mean, the book is just coming out now. And so please help us with the reviews. And if you haven't used the book, I can tell you that my students for the last, how many years we have been using the book, 6 years, whenever they read the book, they always say that, actually, it's very interesting. So you should try at least with one chapter with your students and see how they react to it. Any other questions we have? I see
it's
people
more about the exam copies. Yep. So the exam copy usually takes about 5 to 10 business days. But yeah, as Letitia, who I work with, will follow up on that. Make sure that you do get that as soon as possible. Are there any other questions anybody has? Anything specific?
Great to have you, Michael.
Michael is gonna be using the book.
If you don't have any questions now, but you do decide later on that you have a question, please feel free to reach out to me, and I can get in touch with the editors, and I'll put my email in the chat there.
Also for the questions, please, Victoria. So we have some questions like how would they like to be supported when using the book? Please, if you could send your answers to Victoria, or however, Victoria, how you organize it, But we would be
Yep.
very happy to hear those insights and to really devote our attention to those things that matter for everyone using the book. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yep. So we just
By
have
the way, if you any of you need benefit from having a call with any of us, please send us an email. I think you have our emails. Otherwise, I can put also my email in the chat. But happy to have a call, like a private one-on-one call, to explain you how to use the book and, depending what type of students you have, how can, to be as successful as possible. So I just wrote my email there. So happy to engage with anyone after this webinar.
Okay. So we have another minute if anybody has any last questions, but if not, we can all sign off for the day. Like I said, I will be sending around the recording of this event, and also some other information about how to get an exam copy, how to purchase the book. So please be on the lookout for that. And again, yeah, thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Yob and Louisa, for being here and for sharing about this book.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Really good. It has been fun. All of you. Thank you.